there is an area where I feel like AI is cheating and it pisses me off. I used a bad word. When people literally clone verbatim scripts of
From
other
others.
people's
Yeah,
stuff where
that's
they
not
go,
cool.
this is happening everywhere. They're
Yeah,
going,
that's not cool.
here's a video that went viral, use AI to transcribe it, then feed it into a teleprompter and read it yourself, or feed it into your AI avatar and read it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I go, that's not cool because
It's somebody else's.
it's stealing.
Yeah.
It's stealing. It's lying if you're not disclosing it. It's lying. And most of all, it's unoriginal, where I go, you're not a thought leader. You're a parrot.
Welcome to the Wealthy and Well-Known podcast. I'm joined here today with Rory Vaden, who is my better half on most days.
Not
Some
really.
days. Sometimes. Sometimes
Every
he's my
once
better
in a
half.
great while.
Every once in a while. And today's going to be a really awesome and interesting day because we, like everyone else on planet Earth, are going to talk a little bit about AI, but really specifically where to draw the line with using AI when it comes to creating and producing content for your personal brands.
Mhm.
So what are some of the things that we're using it for? What are some of the things that we've drawn our own personal boundaries of this isn't for us and here's why. So we're going to talk about the powerful use of AI because there's a lot of really great uses and when, where, and how do you create your own boundaries, your own lines of engagement to make sure that AI is a supplemental tool and it doesn't become the creator of your own content? Rory?
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Is that a question? Is that a
we are
question?
going to talk about that. So I think this would be a great place to start is just how are you using AI when it comes to content creation?
Yes. So we are using AI in terms of research and in terms of choosing the topics that we should address, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to take large amounts of information of things we could talk about and trying to pinpoint and identify what topics we
Okay,
should
so I
talk
think
about.
this is worth pausing of going, that might sound familiar to some of you, and some of you are going, well, why would you do that? So can you talk about like what's the point of doing that and how does that actually help you when you're trying to grow your following?
All right. So yeah, that's good. There's two different reasons and ways we use AI for research. Okay. So one is to identify popular trends. Okay. The other is to identify needs.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of identifying popular trends is to grow organic reach and sort of try to catch the more viral, wave
Topic wise,
topic-wise.
just what topics are trending.
The reason to answer people's biggest needs and their questions is more of a long-term, and it's actually to try to show up in AEO, answer engine optimization, to show up in search. So that's why we do and what we're doing. One is kind of a short form viral game. The other is more of a long-term, AEO game. And it's very similar to the difference between social media is trends, but search engine optimization is long-term. It's just the new iteration of that.
So you're using AI to help you analyze and to provide some research support to know what topics are trending, where to spend time on, and then what questions we should be answering.
Right.
Okay.
I think one of the important things there is to go, what are we not using AI
Hold
for?
on. Before you do that, I want to recap this. So just for everyone, so we can make this a very tactical, bullet pointed podcast episode for you. It's step one, we are using AI as a research assistant. Okay. So as a part of our content creation SOPs, it's like bringing on a research assistant. That's what we're using it for. Someone to scour what's happening out there, what's trending, what's working, what are the most commonly asked questions so that we can be aligned with what people are actually asking for. So research assistant, step one.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now continue.
Yes. Okay. So I think an equally important question is, what are we not using AI for? we are not using AI to write the scripts that of what I will say in terms of what I think about the popular trends or what AI thinks I should say in answering the question.
Okay.
So we're using it for research. We're not outsourcing my personality or opinion. And that's where I think people have to be super careful because when AI creates content, it gravitates towards the middle. It literally takes everything that is out there in the world and it sort of like migrates towards this middle mesh of what like the general population is saying. It's literally triangulating all of these things that people are saying. And to be uniqueness is about having a perspective and a point of view and a sort of strong
Yep.
conviction that things should be done in a certain way based on your actual experience.
Hmm.
It's almost the opposite of going, what does the whole world think? And let's do that. Uniqueness is going, I don't care what the whole world thinks. This is what, in our expertise and our experience of actually doing the thing, this is what actually works.
Yep.
So we're not outsourcing or allowing AI to write
Our
the
thought
script
leadership.
for what we're going to say.
Yeah. So here's, I would say, so step two is really what we're not using it for. But in that same vein of like, we're not using AI to actually write scripts, think for us, create content for us, establish our thought leadership, which to be clear is no longer yours. It's AI's. It's not yours. But I would say a caveat to that is a few things that at least I'm doing that is really helpful when it comes to that. So like, here's a couple of best practices around where to use AI to help with content organization, not content creation, but content organization.
Mm.
So I think this is a really important concept that a lot of people, it's nuanced, but I think it's worthwhile talking about. So what I mean by content organization is I'll ask AI, and this doesn't matter, whatever your preferred thing is, Gemini, Claude, Chat, like whatever, it doesn't matter, to go out there and say, hey, can you please go out and review all of my top performing posts, categorize them by topics, and then tell me why those are in line with all of my thought leadership that you can find in my blogs, on my podcast, on my website, and through my own personal brand documents that I've uploaded to store there. And so that is a very helpful thing. If it's like, it's giving feedback to me of, hey, what your audience really enjoys most from you is when you talk about these things.
Mm.
So categorically, I have a topic list that I'll go through. And then from that, I will say, hey, can you please help me create 10 additional questions that you think my audience would like to hear the answer from me based on these trending topics. Now, from those questions, it's not creating my content, it's just saying, hey, this is what I have found that your audience really wants to learn about or hear about from you. So it's just helping me compile the questions. So it's content organization. Then I can take those questions and I'll rewrite them. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't like those. They're too formal. I'm more casual. I want these to be more lighthearted. And I'll just give it direction. But now all it's doing is it's curating a list of questions for me that I can then go grab my phone or schedule some content film time. And now I have a list of questions of like, these are questions that feel super aligned to something I want to talk about for my audience. This is what they have actually said they like from me based on what they engage with, what they like, what they share, what they comment on. And so I'm going to take that, I'm going to organize, I'm going to use AI to help me organize my content so I can then go and have a more streamlined and efficient and effective film day based on topics. So it's content organization. So
Yeah.
I do that a lot. That just helps me be really efficient and effective with the time that I have so that I'm actually creating content that people want.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's almost like a second layer of research.
Mhm.
You're researching the best of it's like what you've put out there and it's going, here's your greatest hits. Like talk more about this.
So wait, well, hold on. I have more. I have more.
Okay.
So it's not your turn yet.
Oh,
So part two
I'm
of
in timeout.
content,
I'll stay over here.
part two of content organization is this is actually how I've been using my drive time, and this has been a really helpful thing because when being a content creator is not your full time job like mine, I'm literally having to figure out like how do I use every minute of my spare time to fit this in? Because I'm not a full-time content creator. That's Rory's job. At VBG, it's not my job. Full-time is
Part-time.
strong
Yeah,
word, strong
part-time,
word, strong
part-time.
word. But so here's what I've been doing is I just use the voice activation component on, so I use ChatGPT. I have found that for this sort of thing, content, I like it better than Claude. I use Claude for other things. But this is what I do is I just talk it out. And I literally, it's almost like a voice memo, but then I give it some very specific instructions. I'll say, hey, here are some topics and themes that have been showing up in my life that I feel really passionate about talking about. And I'll say, hey, I've recently had conversations about faith in the workplace, or hey, I've been getting asked a lot of questions about how do you get rid of mom guilt or work guilt? Right. When I'm with the kids, I feel guilty I'm not working. When I'm working, I feel guilty I'm not with my kids. Or, hey, like you've had this health transformation. Tell me more about that. Or, whatever it is. And I'll just talk it out. And I'm like, hey, these are things that are constantly coming up in my personal life, social life, business life. And I just talk them out. And then I just start ideating. And I'm like, what I'd really love to tell people is this or this or this. Sometimes these messages to ChatGPT are like 10 minutes long, but I'm just doing it in my drive
In
time.
other words, you're using ChatGPT as a therapist? Is that what I'm just
No.
picked up?
And then at the end, I'll say, I need you to take all of my thoughts, all of my random commentary, everything I just shared with you, and I need you to organize it for me
Mm,
in questions and categories that I could then go create content for my audience.
love that.
And so it is totally unorganized. I have no agenda. I am just using it to be like, okay, here's my 10 minutes of everything that's been going on in the last week, or through conferences I was at, or client conversations, or internal meetings. And it is literally a free for all.
It's like a brain dump, but
It is
you're
a
but
brain
you're
dump.
using it to
But
organize.
at the very end, my prompt is all please take my random splattering of thoughts, ideas, questions, and content and organize them for me. Help me create a very clear list of how these could be turned into questions and do them categorically speaking. And then for each category that you come up with, give me 5 to 10 questions. And again, it's all about the question. And I'm not saying create my content. I'm saying give me questions that I can then authentically and in my own voice, go and answer these. So I don't want your help with any content. You're good? No thanks. I just want you to organize all my thoughts and create a strategic plan that I can then put on a Word doc printout and use as my outline.
Yeah. So one of the things I was thinking about as you were talking about how we're using AI, and I personally am excited to use AI, which I think gives a strong distinction for what we use it for and what we do not. I'm a fan of using AI for the packaging, but not the product.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about a candy bar, right? There's the candy bar, and then there's
I don't
there's
eat
the
candy
wrapper.
bars.
I know we don't eat candy bars, but um, do I look like I eat candy bars? No. Okay, you're whatever, some health bar with no
My
sugar
RX
added.
bars.
RX bars.
There you go.
Okay. RX should sponsor the show now. Um, but you've got, the thing, and then you have the wrapper around the thing. AI is great for take this thing that I want to say and turn it into hooks so that we can use the opening screen or the opening frame
Or create a CTA.
or create a call to action out of this. The other thing is like I'm perfectly comfortable having the team use AI to create thumbnails for Instagram posts, for YouTube,
Or titles.
whatever, and
Give us
and
title
title
options.
ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm gonna say the thing that I'm gonna say. That's the product. I'm not using AI for the product, but I'm perfectly comfortable with using AI for the packaging to go, how do wrap this up in a way that is really attention grabbing, that is
Mm-hmm.
really enticing, that is really eye
Yeah,
opening,
it's good.
and totally happy with that. And
So
that's
I would say that's category 3, right? So category 1, research assistant. Category 2, it's content organization. Category 3 would be use it for the packaging, right? Use it for titles, thumbnails, hooks, CTAs. It's to create all the marketing assets around the content, but not the content itself.
Yeah, and we have for our members, if you're listening, you're one of our members, you have access to Brand Bot, which is all of the bots we've created. We have a title bot, which is specifically to help you come up with the titles. We
Yep.
have something called Topic Bot, which does this exact thing. Is it reads your brand memory of what everything that the work you've done, and then it says, here are some content ideas, and it gives you like different title
which
options
is
and
awesome.
hooks. Yeah, so that's awesome, and that's not only how we're using it, we're now institutionalizing and operationalizing those use cases for our clients.
With our specific methodologies layered on top.
Right. But even there, we're not writing the script for them. We're just creating the packaging
Yep.
of the piece.
Now, I will tell you, so I would go then to category 5. Did we say 4?
4.
4. Category 4. I skipped category 4. Category 4, I would also say, is I do use chat to help me create opening lines.
Mm.
And I'll say, okay, here, so I'm going to be talking about today, I'll just pick this one. I said, how to share your faith in the workplace without alienating other people, right? And it's like, hey, can you create an opening line? So that, because I think that's a really important thing. That's kind of
It's
like
like a
with the
hook.
hook.
Yeah.
But so I will use it to help with that. I will say often though, I'll just use it as ideation and I'll go back and I liked this piece, but this is how I'm going to edit it and make it mine. So again, it's not creating the content, but it's the marketing components around that. So I would say on that note, with other things I would put in category 4, I would just use it for outlines. I think those can be really good. So if you're someone who doesn't create a lot of content, again, this is not creating a script for you. This is not creating your thought leadership, but it's going, hey, I want to do a topic on, you know, how to keep your metabolism going well into your 50s, right? Maybe you're a health coach or something like that. And it's like, hey, this is the topic I want to do. But what I'll be very specific so you don't get tempted to like let chat do the thought leadership for you is like, give me a 3-point bulleted outline that I can use with these are the big points that I want to hit based on my content. So you can also do it with just like bullet points to keep your I guess your train of thought focused so that your content doesn't linger to 5 to 7 to 10 minutes when you're trying to make a 90-second post. So I think those are really helpful. You can just do bullet point outlines if this is something that you're new to and you're like, okay, well, this is what I would say. And so again, this is where I use, you know, my voice memo activation is I'll talk it out and then I'll just say, hey, can you put those into 3 bulleted points so I don't miss anything I just said? I'm personally not a big fan of having every single word scripted. I think it's great to have outlines so you can ad lib, right? And I think that's where some of like the thought leadership is really helpful. But you can use it just to create bullet pointed outlines to help you stay focused and on track, mainly for time purposes.
All right. Rapid fire
Let's
questions.
do it.
All right. Let's talk about video specifically. Okay. So AI generated avatars and voice cloning are becoming normalized. Where do you draw the line on what's authentic versus what's deceiving to your audience?
Okay. I'll just start with a blanket answer because we used AI to do our first round of our audiobook.
Yeah,
Right? So
it's true.
we wanted to get our audiobook out before we actually had time to go in studio and actually record our real voices. And I think the difference between, what's real and what's deceptive has everything to do with what you're willing to tell people.
Disclosure.
It's disclosure. And it's like at the very beginning, it was like, this is read by AI. And it's like, there were some parts where you couldn't tell. And then there would be other parts where it's like, what was that? Right. And it's like AI is not perfect in that. But I think the most important thing is to disclose it. Now, we did it for a short term temporary basis to give us enough time to get in studio and get the real voices activated. But we were just very upfront and disclosing
Which is way
this
better.
is read by AI. Absolutely. AI is never going to be able to imitate the uniqueness of voice inflection and human emotion. And thank goodness that's good for us. We're still needed in many ways. And so I think that would be one. It's just disclosure. It's only deceptive when you're letting people think AI is you. And that goes the same with content creation, right? That's the part where there's the line, right? It's like, are you letting people think this was you when it's not? Or are you being upfront and saying, hey, this voice audio is, you know, provided by AI or, it doesn't matter. So that to me is
And
disclosure.
whatever you gain in the automation of creating something, you'll lose 100 times that in trust if you don't disclose it.
Yeah.
So don't think of this. This is a classic trap of the escalator mentality, the shortcut seeking. Oh, I can just like have AI answer all my phone calls and make and do all my chats and my DMs and like, yeah, you can, but you better disclose that. If you do not, I'm telling you, there's going to be a tidal wave that hits you where you lose all the trust from your community
Yeah.
because they're going to be like, "Wait, what? This was AI the whole time? This wasn't even you and you didn't disclose it?" Like that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. So if you're using AI for voice cloning and for video, just disclose it and tell people and let them know. Otherwise, you're gonna pay a price later.
Yeah. So I think that to me is the line of delineation of, are you disclosing it up front? And as long as you are, then everyone knows. No problem.
Yep. Okay. Next question. For someone who has been resistant to AI, there's still a lot of people out there on this, a lot of people. For someone who has been resistant to AI because they feel like it's cheating, what would you say to shift their perspective on this, especially in a competitive content landscape?
I guess my return question would be, depends on what you're using it for. Cheating how? Like, is having an assistant cheating? Right? Is, like, what's cheating? Like, is getting support cheating? So I guess the question would be like, in what context? So we can make our own assumptions of
I,
what some
I
of
I
this
think
could
this is
be.
like people think ads is cheating. People
Mhm.
think, yeah, you win because you have a big team. People think,
Mhm.
um, just I think really what's going on there underneath the surface is a fear about something or also an annoyance of having to adapt and change and learn something. That's what I think. I think if you're resistant to AI, I think a lot of it is just going, I'm resistant to having to learn something new. It's like I don't have time to learn this new thing. And and so I think often we'll use things like, oh, cheating as a defense mechanism to write off as like, oh, I shouldn't have to do it. Is that protects me. The payoff is it protects me from having to like get uncomfortable and dig in and do something new.
Mm.
And, so to that person, I say, I feel you. Like, I feel you. Like, it's like by the time you feel like you get your hands on one thing and figure it out, it's like it's already changed and different. And it's been that way for decades now. And so I'm frustrated by that. But I think you got to beware. I think this is how you become irrelevant. I think you
Mm.
become irrelevant by being annoyed that you have to change. And so you don't, and the world moves on. And one day you look up and you go, oh my gosh, like, I'm I've been totally left behind. So that's how I process this question.
Mm.
And but I feel you and I go like I think the resistance is a fear and an annoyance. And I think you just gotta be careful about what that really means deep down.
Yeah, I think not to go too deep psychologically, but I think a lot of people who think it's cheating to get help, it's really that it doesn't matter where it would come from. It's like, if you think getting help is cheating, then there's something probably inside of you that's like, I have to do it all by myself.
Mhm.
Right? And that's probably where I would lean. I actually, I think about my favorite, y'all, little known fact. Maybe it's a big known fact at this point, but my favorite television show of all time is Modern Family.
Greatest show ever.
Greatest show ever. And there's this
It's not
one
even close.
episode where Claire has become CEO of Pritchett's Closets. She has taken over for her dad, and she has been borrowing the marketing assistant as her personal assistant behind the scenes. But no one at work knows, and no one in her family knows. And the entire family keeps saying, I just don't know how she does it. And she's got the marketing assistant making, brie and apple sandwiches and wrapping birthday presents and doing laundry. And Phil, her husband, is just like overwhelmed with like, how are you doing this? And the kids are, like, Mom, you're the best. You do everything. And Phil's like, how is this happening? And it's a great reminder of like what she doesn't want to admit to anyone is that she has help. And I think where I hear cheating is a very strong parallel to the same person who refuses to get that assistant or
Mm.
hire that house cleaner or hire
A
someone to help.
landscaper
It
or a
just because
nanny, a
it's like,
babysitter,
that's my job. I'm supposed to be able to do it all. Or the mom who refuses to get help or accept a meal or to, it's like we have this burden of we have to do it all by ourselves. We have to do it. We can do it. I don't need any help. And I think that this question, and from some people that I talk to, it's like I think it innately comes from more of that place. When the truth is like we all need help. Like I don't think using AI is cheating at all when I disclose it and when I use it for the right things. In fact, it's helped me become more proficient and efficient at things that I was like, when am I ever going to find time for this? And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. This is amazing. And so but to me, it's like having an assistant. And it's not replacing my assistant, but I have support in the areas. And so, in my opinion, if you're struggling with like it feels like cheating, I would say like what other areas in your life do you also feel like are cheating? Because I think this would fit in there too.
That's good. There is an area where I feel like AI is cheating and it pisses me off.
Do
I
tell
used a bad word. When people literally clone verbatim scripts of
from
other
others.
people's
Yeah,
stuff where
that's
they
not cool.
go, this is happening everywhere. They're
Yeah,
going,
it's not cool.
here's a video that went viral, use AI to transcribe it, then feed it into a teleprompter and read it yourself, or feed it into your AI avatar and read it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I go, that's not cool because
It's somebody else's.
it's stealing.
Yeah.
It's stealing. It's lying if you're not disclosing it. It's lying. And most of all, it's unoriginal where I go like, you can't be a thought leader. You're not a thought leader. You're a parrot. Like don't steal other people's stuff and then try to position yourself as an expert. You're not
Yeah.
an expert, you're a parrot.
Yeah.
You're cloning other people's stuff and going, that's not cool.
Mhm.
So that is a place where AI is cheating and I'm
Well,
clearly
AI,
I'm clearly feisty about
I
it.
say AI isn't cheating. Humans are cheating.
Mm,
AI is just a tool, like anything else. It's a tool. Um, can be wielded for good or for bad. It's a tool. Humans get to decide how to use it. So
yeah,
don't be blaming AI.
that's
It's
true.
just a tool
You're right. It's like,
for now.
yeah, yeah.
For
Gosh, I
now.
hope there's somebody out there that's building like happy robots and positive, anti-cyber scamming AI stuff, man, because
I subscribe to this account on Instagram that only shares happy news. Like it's it. They're only like, what good news in the world happened in the last 24 hours? And it's like pandas are no longer in extinction. Did y'all know that? The great panda is no longer in extinction. And it
it's
only feeds
great.
me positive news. Like the state of Florida just banned animal abusers from owning pets. That's amazing. That's so great. They shouldn't get to have pets. So if you're
Is there
looking
anything on there about positive AI robots and like
well,
AI
yesterday was all about
protection?
animals.
Okay.
But it was good. It was positive. So I'm just saying, it's like there's good things happening no matter where you look, and there's bad things happening no matter where you look. It's just you're gonna find whatever you look for. That's my point.
All right. Community question. You're supposed to read it this
Oh,
time. Are you ready?
I am ready. I was thinking about pandas, but
Yeah, now
uh,
everyone's thinking about pandas. We were talking about
well,
AI,
this is
now
a
we're
big
talking
deal.
about
Like they
pandas.
were on the verge of extinction, and now
That
they're no
is
longer. Thank you.
that's great.
That's
It's
awesome.
really
Okay.
awesome.
All right. This is one of our favorite segments of the show. Every week, BBG members vote up one of the most pressing questions from the community, and it gets featured here, and we get to answer it. So let me read the question to you. This comes from Danielle. I've started using ChatGPT to help me write my content. And honestly, my captions have never been better. But my best friend told me it's inauthentic
Mm.
and that I'm basically lying to my audience.
Dun, 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 dun.
Am I doing something wrong or is she overthinking it?
This is balance of what we've been talking
It
about here.
is.
It's a
Yeah.
really good question. I think if you're using AI to write your content, I think you're lying to the audience. But if you created content and you shared your own original ideas and your own original thoughts, and then you transcribed it and you said, AI, turn this into a well written caption for me, I don't think that's lying at all. I think that's a great use of it.
Yep.
So I guess what I would say here is a way that I could maybe summarize a lot of my opinion on AI. If I'm using AI to outsource my thinking, that's a
Don't
problem.
do that.
If I'm using AI to outsource the doing, I'm okay with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say it kind of goes back to like those four categories that we talked about earlier. It's like use AI. What did I say? AI?
Use
I
AI.
can't hear my own accent. Sometimes it gets strong.
AI. I'm from the South. Use AI. It's I. It sounds really close to
Sometimes it comes
I.
out
Yeah.
really strong. I can't even hear what I'm saying. But if you're using it as a research tool to help you be like, what are the topics? What's trending? What are the
Mhm.
questions? That's fine. If you're using it to organize your thought and your content, we talked about that. That's fine, right? If you're using it for the packaging, right? And that could be the titles, the thumbnails,
The hooks.
the hooks, the
Captions,
CTAs, some
opening
of the
lines.
captions. That's okay. And then even in, category 4, when we were talking about, hey, are you using it in a way to help you, like kind of pace things out and create bullet points and even write the opening line? I think that's okay. That's all in organization and packaging. I think those are all things that are okay. What's not okay is it actually becomes the source of your thought leadership.
Mm.
That's not okay. That's where it's like the whole reason for you that you're in BBG is so that you're coming up with your own content based on your own experiences, your own expertise, your own thoughts, and those are valuable. You do not need to use AI to create your content. It's yours. Like it doesn't know what stories to tell or what life experiences or what emotions you felt or the failures or the victories. Like that's yours. And that's actually what people want. And that's also specifically to you while you are a member in Brain Builders group. It's like I feel called to share something to an audience that really needs to hear it in a way that only I can share it. AI can't do that. So the only person you're cheating by doing that is cheating yourself of letting the world hear your true message, your real life story, for hearing from your real life events and the real life feelings. Like it can't imitate. And when it says like the captions have never been better, it's like, says who? Says you? We're always going to be the hardest judge on our own stuff. And so I would just encourage, it's like a little imperfection is quite beautiful. What's really most important is that people can relate to you and that it's personable and that it's real. And you're only cheating yourself if you're not letting your real message, your real story, your real thoughts come out. That's who's being cheated in this. And so I would just say there's plenty of ways to be using AI to help you be more efficient, more effective, research, organization. But when it comes to the actual content, that's yours. Let it be yours.
Yeah. It just dawned on me as you were talking about like such a powerful reason for BBG to still exist as you go, what does AI do? AI consolidates, reviews, analyzes everything that's out there that's ever been created. What can it not do? Create your original thinking about how you solve the problem from your own vantage point, your own anything that exists in your head becomes truly valuable and truly unique as the world just gravitates towards more and more noise
Totally. It's
of
like it can't go in and recall all of the stories and the memories, and that's the human experience, and it can't do that. So
Mhm.
don't let it.
Yeah. So, if you want to have some help doing that, to create original intellectual property, to extract your own original thinking, to create your own frameworks and proprietary IP, then you should request a call with us. If you go to freebrandcall.com/podcast, we'll talk to you about that, exactly what our process looks like to help pull out that uniqueness from your own lived experience to create more human emotion, more human connection, and establish your place as a thought leader in the world today and in the world of the future. Again, freebrandcall.com/podcast. This has been a great episode. 4 ways to use AI and good news about panda bears. That is going to be on the title and the thumbnail of
But
this.
I would also say, like, if you've been listening for a while and you liked this content and this podcast is resonating with you, like, do us a favor and write us a review. That would also be really helpful in helping us reach other people who are looking for this kind of content in this way. So if you've been a fan, if you've been following, and if you like this, do us a favor and write a review.
And if you hate us, write a review, but don't hit publish. Just email it to us so that we can see it. That's it we got for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy and Well-Known podcast. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it. We'll see you next time. All right, babe, we need to come up with some ideas. How do we make this episode go viral?
Chatbot, how do we make this episode go viral?
Got it.
Did you say spiral?
Making episode spiral.
No!